Hey, we're working on the Mustang, and we know we put a new battery in it. We know it's got fuel that's, let's just say it's over 3-4 years old in it, okay? So I checked what I did. I disconnected the fuel line coming into the manifold right here. I used some of these cheap Harbor Freight right here. Fuel line AC quick disconnects. Disconnected it here. Here's the one connector I used. It was the probably 5/8. Sometimes you got to spray a little looby dooby in here to get it to pop off. Turned the ignition on. I had no fuel coming out. So since I had no fuel and the car's been sitting, first thing I did was change the fuel filter. I went into this top box right here and we checked our fuel. I'll put some good YouTube videos on which filters these are. Which fuses these are. All right, there's a 15 amp and there's one of these relays here. Check both of them, they're fine. So after changing the fuel filter, we turned on to see if we have any fuel coming out. We're still dead. Now, before you say, hey, but it'd be dangerous having fuel coming out here. I had a line right here. I placed it into a fuel can here, plugged it up over this, no fuel came out. All right, so safe. So here we have some empty fuel cans. There is the fuel pump, which we suspect is the problem. And I pulled it out because I even energized it and the fuel pump wasn't running. So we bought a new fuel pump. That's the old original equipment. And I'll tell you what, it smells funky, called Medina.
This brother told me a secret on how to get more chicks. Put a little Medina in your glass and the girl will come real quick.
The fuel's very old in this. So I put another video on how to get this open. It's very easy. You have to pull the rear seat out. Your fuel access is right there. Taking it out. Everybody's been asking me in comments, how are you going to get the fuel out? I went to Harbor Freight. I already had one of these flexible lines that has the, you shake it and you can drain out. But I wanted a little bit more controlled. So I walked by, I think this was being discontinued, and it's a liquid transfer pump, battery operated. It does not come in need two size D batteries.
You too.
They unscrew in the handle, and I don't care if this thing doesn't work after this one time. Once you use it, you cannot return this anyway. Remember that, all right? It was so cheap. It was under $10. I think it might have been like 5 something. It was a discontinued item. So we got the fuel pump out. I've got nasty fuel in there. And this little deal, you just 2 batteries go in here. You unscrew this top. Turn the switch on. Watch the fuel. There we go. So now we're emptying out the tank. The tank had maybe a quarter tank of fuel in it. So I'll empty this out. If it fills this one up, I've got some old ones, and you can smell some funk. Now, the fuel is not gelled or anything, but look at here already. So we're gonna run, it's very quiet. So I'll get back to you after we drain this, and after that we'll put some fresh fuel, we'll put a new fuel pump in here, and then look at here, we're almost at the end. We'll come back. All right, after we cleaned out the tank, the bottom of the tank directly under where the fuel pump is, this is what we found. This is the old fuel pump, okay? We found these, which are rubbers, and you found this. And I found the remnants of the filter, which was totally shot. Here's the filter on the new fuel pump. You see how apparently it just came off, sitting in the fuel, it disintegrated. All right, so I cleaned out, you got really good access right underneath the fuel pump to the fuel tank. It was just a little remnants right there. I cleaned it all out by hand, stuck my hand in there. It's all dry, nice and clean. So now we're gonna put everything back together, put the fuel pump in, put fresh fuel back in the car, but I'm also gonna run some barium B12 in it to where, just to clean out the system. It's got a new filter on the car, which is right underneath there. There's plenty of videos how to do that. I'll put a link on a video for that too. I find really good guys on YouTube, and I like to share there. If they're a really good video, I like to share with you. Some guys explain it better to me, or they've already done the process, so why not give them the credit, right? So we're gonna put the new fuel pump in. Now, I'll tell you one thing, guys. I'll give you the price afterwards, and I'll put it over right about now. These are, if you don't have a discount, these can be extremely, extremely expensive fuel pumps on these Mustangs. All right, so some of you say, well, I'll just go to a salvage yard. Yeah, you can, and you can, you know, test it and see if it's good or not. But you can also buy the new sock and stuff. This one here has seen better days as far as fuel pump, so I'm not going to trust it. This car's only got 57,000 miles on it. It deserves a new fuel pump. It's a GT also. So let me put this in, put some fresh fuel. We'll go from there. Fuel pump's in. My brother just watched the fuel come out. We'll purge the line one more time. I'll let you hold this while we purge.
Yep, there it is.
All right, shut it off. Now we'll hook it back together. Get the back seats back in, and when you're putting it back in, make sure before you lock it down, stick up the lock-ins for your seat belts. Have it pre-connected. They pull right up, slide the seat in, it locks down. Piece of cake. Now, if you read directions on the B12 Berrimans, 1 ounce per gallon. Measured it. I put about 3 gallons in before. Got 4 gallons here. That's 7 gallons. So 7 ounces. And now we're going to use our cheap pump to transfer it. Remember, it uses 2 double D batteries. There we go. Transferring the fuel. It's got the Berrimans already in it. I do have a little extension right here, and what that's from, I'll show you. Hold on. Extra hose. I took it off the end. Comes off that bigger end right there. This is also from Harbor 8. They're about $10 to $11. Has a glass ball in it. You shake it, and it suctions stuff. Well, I just took that off so that the extra hose fits in there. I'll put it back on. So I will carry this on my stump truck to transfer diesel fuel from now on. I really love it. Piece of cake. I'm not going to have to lift up the heavy gas cans and or lift, you know, because my truck's high, so I got to lift them up. I got bad shoulders. So we'll let this fill up. Got the Berrimans already in it. Mixed it up properly. And here's that pump again. Hold on. It's a battery operated transfer pump. Uses 2 size D batteries. They don't come with the D batteries, so you'll have to buy your own D batteries. Right, and you can get those at Harbor Freight too. Now, if you look for the same deal, I'll put a link on it for Amazon. It's more money on Amazon. I think it's like 30 bucks on Amazon. Some people on eBay have them for 20, 25. I bought this at Harbor Freight. It was on a, I don't know, it was on their weird sale. It was for like $5, $6. Now they're $12 and some cents, because I just went down there. My brother saw this. He goes, gotta have it. So we went to Harbor Freight. I even bought a spare one. And we're almost pumped out. I had 4 gallons in here. So wait a minute, we'll start up the car. Started right up. Got the Berrimans in it. I'm gonna let it run for about 20 minutes. The engine compartment needs to be cleaned one more time. That's later after we paint the car. But what we're gonna do next is we'll change the engine oil in it. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't like these rims. Some of you guys do, but I'm gonna try to find some original rims, some new tires on it, because these tires, my brother and I actually drove up and down the block, and they're square. They've been sitting so long to where you could feel just from the tires sitting so long. They got big flat spots in them, and then they're dry rotted anyway. So let's go over what we did. We had a no start issue, and I knew it was going to be fuel because this car sat so long, right? So we first went in. I disconnected our fuel line right here to the quick connect to the fuel. I put a rubber hose on it, turned the key, no fuel coming out. I knew right then, so it could have been a fuse blown or a relay. We went in here, I checked the relays and the fuse. I'll put a video, like I said, of how to check it properly. I checked all the shutoffs in the car, like the emergency one on the foot down here in case something happened. I don't know the history of this car, but now I'm tending to find out. I'm sure the fuel pump went out. The battery from trying to crank it probably went deader than a doornail. So the car sat. And she didn't have the money to repair the car. Put a new battery in it first so we could test everything. I still, after I uncoupled that, after checking everything's good there, I had no fuel. Went underneath, changed the fuel filter. I figured maybe that could be clogged too. That could have been the problem also. But I was not hearing any noise from the fuel pump in the back, which is located under the back seat. So, changed the fuel filter. Next, what we did on it, we changed the fuel pump. I'll show you what was wrong with the fuel pump. Now, I paid, I'll show you here, and let me get the paperwork, show you what I paid for everything. On the repair site, it said this job should cost you between $1,200 and $1,500 to change the fuel pump in this Mustang, which is basically 2005, 2010, all the way to 10, maybe 12. That's a lot of money. This is something you could do. If you got somebody that's handy and you're scared, they can do it with you. This can be done in your driveway. The hardest part of this whole job is getting the lock ring back down to do the fuel pump. It took two people, my brother and I, one to hold it flat and the other, and then us to tap it around. That was the hardest part. That's why he came over to help me, because it was warm being inside the car. And, you know, I'm not in my shop's full of stuff. So we did it here in the driveway, just like you would do it at home, done in the driveway. So where are we at on the car? We got a new battery, we got the fuel pump, fuel filter was about $7. So I'll put our total up around right about here. I'll put it up on the screen where we're at on this car right now, on price of what we paid for it, and we're just going through it. All right, so next thing I got to do, like I say, is tires. I want to change out the rims. I'm doing this on a budget, guys. This is a nice car, but I'm going to make it nicer, right? The paint's faded, you can see it right here. The clear coat's peeling, but I'm a painter too, so we'll see how it comes out in the end, all right? But this is going to be a very, very nice car. And if you're new to the channel, you look at the interior of this car, it's wonderful. All right, God bless you. See you on the next one, and you'll see the total of prices right about now.